to pick and ban phase. Melody, Jean, and Angelo are banned out by the real ones, and I think Angelo has a 99.9 ban rate so far. He only showed up once in the EMEA finals, had a 100% win rate there, of course, so it makes a lot of sense that he's banned out here.
On the other hand, Melody, we actually saw a lot of play for her inside of the EMEA region, especially in maps like Dueling Beetles, where it was really important to get into the backlines of your opponents and take them out from behind, basically. Here, though, in last time, which we just saw, only one Melody was picked the entire monthly final. The rest of the time, basically banned off. And here, it looks like it's going to be the same story. Melody seems to be a little bit strong for most players, and they don't want to take the risk of having to change their strategies due to this.
That is very true. So both those brawlers banned out more than not. If they're open, they're probably going to be picked up here. Grey, Max, and Brock are going to be banned out by their opponents. 5-12 do not want to see them. We already have the first picks in as well. Real ones are going to go with RT, something we haven't seen quite often work so well though. Would work even better alongside Jean, but they banned him out themselves. Maybe we're going to see a tick incoming from them later. Never mind, Tick and Nani going to be picked up by 5-12 now. So come so far from the real ones, RT and Nani. They picked her now. 5-12 with Tick and Mandy. So a little bit of long range, a little bit of Tick action here. He just received his hyper charge, so he's showing up a lot more often now.
Yeah, the thing is, I would say that Tick has kind of taken over as the main thrower this weekend. We usually have seen a lot of Grommet knockout, a lot of Grommet, honestly, Heist even safe zone, but this week it's just been Tick over and over again. I don't think we've even seen Dynamite once at this point. Maybe that's for good reason. Tick just very, very simple to execute and can really put a lot of control over the map inside of New Horizons. Pearl going to be picked up next for the real ones. So now they have RT, Nani, and Pearl. That is a very, very bulky composition here that the red team 5-1-12 is going to have to deal with.
Bulky indeed. We don't even have a Buster banned out. They still decide to not go with it. They decide to go with something with a lot of damage output with the hopes of maybe countering him in case he still gets picked up. A 5-12 actually decides to go with Colt. We have not seen him picked up a single time this afternoon in South America. Let's see how the team in NA is gonna do with it. So they can break up the map pretty quickly with the Mandy and the RT. That makes a lot of sense. We're gonna head straight into our very first game of the B stream, North America.
It looks like Nani is at the mid off against the Pearl, and Cole on the left is actually going to struggle, I think, against the Mandy, as I think the real ones were looking for the Colt to be facing off against the Tick instead. However, a quick lane switch, and it looks like the real ones are already losing a little bit of ground at the mid.
They do indeed here. 5-12 have full mid control for now. Of course, with Tick, it's going to be a bit of an easier thing to do as well. Just holding off your opponents at a safe distance here. Rosamund desperately trying to get back into action against Toki. Again, showing up for the first time in a monthly final since 2022, and now showing how strong he still is.
Absolutely. Toki is a player who has done really good in the past, made it to the finals of the 2022 May, actually against Try Gaming, but he will be looking to have a strong start here as their team has that Sugar Ray from Mandy loaded, can use it to take out one of the opponents, and now it is a 2v2 at mid. It's going to make it really difficult though because RT has so much health. Togi tries to play the opposition, but it looks like it's too little too late. Oh, Nathan just pushes him into the gas. Secure round number 1 for the real ones.
And with that, real ones secured their very first round already, even though they have been pushed back into spawn for the most of this game. DiegoGamer with a nice Mandy ult, sadly doesn't hit the target. Nathan can dodge it just in time. Real ones pushed back once again, but it didn't hurt them in the first one. They're kind of just waiting it out, waiting to get close and comfy with the Tick. Toki now trying to push up together with his head. Still giving them some space, but no kills so far.
No gadgets left here. Needs to make use of his shots to get that super, further break down these walls and make Tick very uncomfortable on the right hand side. Looks like Square is going to be launching the Nani head. Can he make it onto Togi? He does make the connection, but the gadget from Togi is going to deny 50% of that damage.
Square now trying to gain some more mid control together with Nathan. They try to come in to the mid action now. Still no kills have been happening. In the end, it's all about this. Now the last few seconds come in. The smoke comes in from the sides. Razorn falls as well as the Mandy. It's a 2v2 situation. Togi gets one. Does he find Square as well? It's going to be a 1v2 situation here. Return to sender comes in. Can't find a takedown. And this is going to be the first round equalized here.
How risky are 512 willing to play it? Not very, apparently, because DiegoGamer does not release the Sugar Ray just yet. He is waiting for that opportunity. Does he go for it? Yes, he gets the connection onto Nathan. It's going to force the real ones to fall back as their most tanky character now has to retreat and heal back up. However, they make a great recovery. This Toki still trying to play on that right-hand side, but it's only getting more difficult as more of these walls start to break down around the map.
Nathan, Square. We don't have any lane switches so far. Interesting to see. They still decide to go Cold against Tick. Nathan tried to go up against in mid. Now Tick incoming, gets taken care of immediately. Walls breaking up a tiny little bit there. Mark on CTR as well. Another Manji ult, not finding a target. Smoke slowly coming in now. And the Nani Peach trying to find a target. He does. Toki falls. 3v2 situation now for the favor of real ones.
It's not looking good. The Cold Super comes down. DiegoGamer needs to play a 1v3. Takes out Nathan. Is it going to be enough? Actually makes 2 knockouts. But at the end of the day, it is Square finishing off that round with full health on the Nani.
With that, real ones taking this one already. Very well played by them. The comp just did seem to work out. Tick was maybe it. Let's see if 512 can turn things around here. Still, the Tick did a great job at the right-hand side. They pushed back their opponents time and time again, but still just wasn't enough for 512 to actually get a grip onto the real ones.
A lot of it came down to DiegoGamer just needing to land that Sugar Ray on maybe a more effective target than the RT, for example. Looks like Togi's had a great start to this round, though, already pushing Raz all the way into this back line. The Tick head comes out, and it's going to have to be denied very quickly, but however, Counter finds a knockout on that back end, gets taken out himself, and now it's up to Mandy and Tick to use this pushback to get one of these knockouts and force a 2v1.
It's a 2v2 situation. Square Nathan versus Diego and Togi. Who gets the better start here? I guess it's Square here. Great mark by Nathan with that. The Nani Peep makes it a one-shot race here. Togi can't really do too much. The other two are just trying to get some more ult feed, and he knows that. Just walking to smoke now. That's exactly what you should be doing, not feeding the opponents. With that, we don't have another Nani head incoming right from the get-go.
It's going to come down to 5-1-12 to turn this around. They need the Sugar Ray desperately to force some pressure onto the side of the real ones. Counter makes the lane switch onto that right-hand side, so the Tick can face it up against the Nani, but I don't think it's making their life that much easier. Sugar Ray doesn't find a target onto Nathan, and now is that Tick head from the Tick on the left-hand side trying to push Square all the way into the back end. It always looks so good for 5-1-12, always pushing the real ones back into their spawn, but it's not enough because they can't capitalize on that advantage.
Nathan getting tapped up there. Diego on the way to getting another Mandy ult. Nathan is so important to this comp. Whenever he taps someone, his two teammates and himself will do so much more damage, enough for a Peep to find an easy target. We just saw it in the first round. Square on the right hand side getting tapped up quite heftily, surviving it with 90 HP, still running, still getting rid of Tickhead, still shooting. He doesn't even care about healing up there. Finally finds a target. There's 2 people taken out of 512 here. Togi versus Roswin now in a 1v1. Who will make it to Tick thanks to that little wall that is still left of Roswin? He tries his best, can't really break the maps right now, and dies to smoke in the end. That's unfortunate. We're gonna head into our 3rd round of this 2nd game of Knockout.
Tick Gadget forcing Razwin to walk into the smoke. What a great play by Togi. He activates another Tick Gadget very effectively, and now he does have that hypercharge ready. This is another reason why Tick has been picked so favorably over the other throwers. Just having that slight advantage, being able to pop that hypercharge while simply don't have one, just gives it the extra play that it needed to succeed within Knockout. However, it looks like the tables have turned as the blue team is finally pushing 5-1-12 into their spawn rather than the other way.
Hypercharge popped on the side of Togi. Tick head coming in quickly. They do get rid of it. mines are spawning, but they don't really care too much. Square finally has a super ready. Let's see if the peep head does found a target this time around. Again, it's only the wall. Nathan on the right hand side quite low, needs to fall back. Again, it's going to be a real ones. Push back all the way into spawn there on their way to making this first set their own. Instead, two of them are falling. Nathan in a 1v3. This is going to be a hard task in his hands. We're going to head into game 3 of Knockout.
The real ones were just one round away from taking this first set, but Togi makes an excellent 1v1 with the Colt and is able to force game number 3 inside of New Horizons. What an exciting way to start off our Brawl Stars Championship for North America.
Square, Rosa and Nathan, they did win the first round. Can they make the first set? 5-12 seems to have figured out a way to turn things around again. Nathan?
Yeah, it looks pretty good for the side of the red team. They are actually... Oh, yes, Togi keeps using these shield gadgets so effectively to prevent damage taken onto him. And now it is Hunter trying to force something on the left-hand side. Square now has that Nani head, is ready to make a play for that advantage. Can he land on the Togi or the man? He does! And Togi doesn't use a shield. Is this going to be a problem for 5-1-12 as they are so far back into their spawn?
It's still a 3v3 situation. So far, no kills have been happened. Manual coming in. Square immediately with the response. Return to sender is there. Diego is one shot. He can't really get out of that little space there. He does find some time to heal up, trying to go up against Square. He does find the kill in the end. Razon falls as well though, as Togi and CTR, the last two, still standing from the side of 5-12. And in the end, it's going to be real ones taking this first round. They only need one more round now to make this set.
Very, very strong performance from the side of the real ones here. They need to get these kills onto the board as quickly as possible, as when the storm has closed in, they've historically not done too well, as the Tick is able to land all those mines.
Razon against CTR this time around. We do have a little lane switch there. Togi trying to go in mid, playing with CTR together, so nobody can come too close to him. Nathan hits CTR, gets it hit as well. CTR in 700 HP finds time to heal up there. Nathan runs into the trap, trying to go and get the kill finally onto the Pearl, trying to confirm it. Gets hit by Diego's super. That's a 3v2 situation. 5-12 once again, about to turn things around.
Yeah, amazing performance here from the side of 5-12. A lot of times during this game, it just looked like they weren't capitalizing on the advantages that they had, but finally, they're turning things around after a very rough first game inside this set. It seems like they understand their strategy. Diego is landing more of those shots on Mandy and utilizing the sticky caramel to get those shots locked and loaded, but the Nani head is going to try to turn things around for the real ones.
Tick is doing such a phenomenal job at just holding their opponents at length, whilst Diego trying to farm super. They don't really have that RT to confirm Diego's kills whenever he does hit someone with a super, but still they had some kills along the lines. They can turn things still around here. They're about to. They already won the second round. Can they win the third one now as well? Razon with super ready. Looks into breaking those walls on the left hand side maybe.
I think that's a great opportunity. You see the Pearl and the Tick just bundled up there like two peas in a pod. These walls falling will allow Razon to deal so much damage to those two brawlers, but Tick is making it so awkward for him to push up. Wow, Pearl actually breaks their own walls, not going to allow Razon to even get that satisfaction. And now it's up to Togi. Use the hypercharge, tries to get this damage on the board. It is a 2v2. Can they get him down? It is a 2v1 and real ones finally clinch set number 1. It looked good for them most of that last round, but 5-1-2 made it pretty darn close.
And Carl, they definitely have a solid comp here. Don't really need to be too scared of dimensional doors of Grey as well. They can just have 8-bits kind of on Grey taking care of duty. Whenever he decides to go in, they can just get rid of him.
Yeah, Grey isn't the most picked brawler on this map, but it has an extremely high win rate at around 65%. And I think that speaks to volumes to like how Grey's actually used when you get on the right matchup, when you're able to counter your enemy composition, like up against the Piper, you're able to get the right matchup and get so much more value out of Grey than you otherwise would Hook number 1 comes out on the right-hand side, and it's not going to find a target. So it is going to be the real ones now trying to push up with the mark on the Toby.
I really like to see Nathan on Carl this time around. He's going to be able to play quite aggressively, and of course going to be able to pick up the blue star right from the get-go. It gives the real ones that a little bit of an advantage here. They can just lean back, can let 512 push into them rather than the other way around, and can farm off their supers. We see Square already has his, and again DRT just doing his work, tapping them up, keeping them low, and never really let them come up too far.
Something I really like about this composition. Oh, and here's kill number 1 from the side of 512. And Nathan is going for it. Does he get it? Yes, he does. And he gets out. But that's going to be all 3 of Nathan's gadgets used up. Unless he's using the gear that gives him 4. But he's going to have to play a lot more passively now, as he won't always have that out when he needs to get it.
It was actually so crazy to see Nathan really tried to get that kill onto CTR, confirming it in the end, but he needed to use his super, getting sucked in by Walking Cane and still getting that kill there. The last 17 seconds now on the clock for 512 to turn things around. All that they need is just one single kill, and they could be able to turn things around here.
1 star is the deficit, but that's going to prove to be a little bit too much as the timer counts down. Can Nathan survive? Protected pirouette. It's not enough, but they find the kill on to the gray, evening things up and pushing them ahead at 5-4. Real ones having a very strong start in the bounty set as well, but if it's anything that we've seen before, I think 512 can fight back and get us a game of their own.
Real ones taking the momentum from game 1 right into Shooting Star as well. New Horizons, Shooting Star, Knockout and Bounty, kind of similar modes. It makes sense that Real ones feels very comfortable coming into the set now. Walking King coming in, Nathan gets pulled in, but does survive it in the end. This time around, he doesn't get the blue star immediately. Maybe it's CTR picking it up now, but it seems like Real ones are just waiting for that to happen. Nathan gets the blue star, even though his teammate falls. Real ones still not in the lead for now, since Square is just coming out of spawn now.
The hook comes down, and it's not actually going to pull through the wall, as it's an unbreakable wall. Something I want to talk about here is the comp is so smart. They try to go for the first star, get that blue star out of the way, and force their opponents to push into basically the RT and the Piper. So RT can just mark people up, and then the Piper can take them down. It's so hard to push into those two, but it's going to be a problem here as they don't have the first kill, and now we're going to have to play it into the aggressor side of the map.
Peep coming in, does find a connection with Nathan. He survives it. No kill confirmation of the side. From the side of Diego there on the left-hand side. Toki returned to sender, does find its target. Square does survive it though. It just needs to heal up now. Real ones has to play this one really passively. They aren't even in the lead, and still it's 5-12, putting so much pressure on them.
Actually, the gray hook does miss on the right-hand side, so it gives the real ones a little bit of room to breathe. Otherwise, I think RT would have fallen on that right-hand side. It's so difficult though because Carl doesn't have a super, and just using the gadget to hook up to the 8-bit or the Gray, for example, wouldn't be very effective as they can teleport away. They do find a knockout onto the Nani, and it's actually going to be a turnaround for the real ones as 5-12 throws away the lead at the last gap of this match, it feels like.
15 seconds left on the clock again. It's going to be 5-12 that needs to push up now, do something. Toki gets tapped up there by Roswin. Roswin falls low. There could be a kill confirmation coming in from CTR. He does teleport in, falls himself. There almost was a triple kill still happening at the end here of this second set. It is the end as Real One picks up their second win in a row, taking this set, and it's 2-0 now overall. To the game now to see their fulfilled comp. We have Barley, Pam, and Cordelius on the side of the Real Ones. Then 5-12 is showing up with a Larry. They also have a thrower, RT, and Charlie. I do like the comp of Real Ones a tiny bit better. Could be that I'm just biased towards the Pam.
Barley healing already coming down on the board, and it's getting a lot of ground inside the mid here. Let's see if Square can hold his ground as the Cordelius here. He just wants to put one of his enemies into the zone, maybe allow that to sneak into the zone and take out one of the opponents when he's ready. It looks like he goes on DiegoGamer, but he's going to jump out of there at the last second just to stay alive. Nathan throws down that healing turret a little bit far back to probably prevent the Larry and Larry from taking out, but nonetheless, the Larry and Larry reaches deep, goes for a three-pointer, hits it under the Panther.
Well played. Real Ones does have the lead. 512 has some showings though. Great Cocoon, the gadget there, tries to stay alive. DiegoGamer on the left hand side falls in the end to Square, and still the Real Ones are just sitting in that zone, making themselves comfortable, not even letting 512 cross the line between their spawn and this mid right now.
63 to 15% is honestly not a good looking statistic if you're 512 here. But if there is a map that can ever change hands quickly, it is Dueling Beetles. Whichever team has control of the map can basically take it from 0 to 100%. However, with 14% left for Real Ones to collect, it looks like it's too little, too late. DiegoGamer activates the legs, but it's just too late into the game. There's not enough pressure from the side of Togi and Counter in the mid to keep the Real Ones away from taking us to a match point.
It is already match point, meaning the Real Ones only need to pick up one more game and they're already on their way into the semi-finals, where they're gonna have some very strong opponents too. 512, if they don't win this one now, we sadly have to say goodbye to them. They had a very strong showing already in the monthly qualifiers. Now they can prove one last time what is in them. If they win this one still, the reverse sweep is still on the table here.
We've seen a lot of crazy situations like Stamina against Team Queso, for example, back in last year. But we'll have to see if 512 can make a repeat story for themselves and keep themselves in the competition. DiegoGamer on the right-hand side is fighting a lot of pressure onto Nathan, and with hacks, he's able to take him out. However, it's going to be really difficult for Barley to play 1v3 at the mid, so as Togi and Diego come out on the left and the right-hand side, Real Ones actually already respawned. It seems like they haven't even missed a beat.
That's the thing, 512 has full mid control. They're playing a 3v1 against that Barley, and still they're not really able to pick up a lot of percentages in mid. Nobody dares to really step into mid as long as the Barley's still alive. Rosalind doing such a great job at that. Square and CTR in the Shadow Realm right now. CTR survives it, spawns back that Barley. It actually helped him in the end. With that, 512 takes over complete control. They can finally get rid of that Pam turret as well. Now Nathan is the last man standing from the side of Real Ones, and 512 finally catching up.
DiegoGamer on the right hand side, he needs to make a move towards this mid. He has the most health on their team, and he's going to need to take advantage of it to get in the mid, but it's still not enough. Pam, too tanky inside of this hot zone map. Counter goes for the heal and switch, but it's just not enough. He tries to put down damage on the turret. The healing from the Pam, the healing from the Barley. The Real Ones have so much sustain here, and it's proving to pay off as they extend their lead by over 40%.
Nathan still in the zone. Again, it's only one more last man standing from the Real Ones, and 512 can't really pick up any more percentages in the zone. CTR now finally doing just that, limiting the lead that they still have to only 30%, slowly catching up. Now it's 20%. Square again in the zone though when he comes out of the Shadow Realm, as well as Nathan and Roswin. Roswin falls there. 512 still with great control. They need to play out of their minds right now in order for them to still turn around. Real Ones only needs 10% now.
Something I want to point out is like the legs from Archie haven't been used at all this series. The Barley pick just making it so awkward to try to deploy those legs onto the field. Togi self-cocoons and is able to get the Pam inside. Actually, can 512 turn this around? They are at the brink of death. They show who is the team to be watched out for in this quarterfinals round, and give themselves a little bit more room to start making that reverse sweep against the Real Ones.
That was actually crazy. Finally, they pick up not only a game, but also the possibility to prolong this one still into set 4. We have a lot of people rooting for 512 right now, and I kind of hope we get to see another match. It was a very close one in knockout. Now, Bounty was all in the name of the Real Ones. I kind of almost hope for 512 to have us watch a bit more of this matchup.
You have a lot of this matchup to go if 512 can pick up this win. So far, it looks like a pretty promising start. Archie on the Pam has just found so much damage. Can DiegoGamer get the pressure onto Nathan? Still just opting not to use those legs. I think it's a great call, because the Barley would just be able to, again, take it out so easily. Nathan goes for a scrap sucker on the right-hand side, but not going to get any value out of it. Larry and Laurie trying to pick up some knockouts in this mid here. Square is so healthy and is all the way into their bush already.
Nathan doing a great job at just defending that zone, staying alive most of the time whenever he has a turret. Pam is practically unkillable there on the right hand side. Rosen now sitting in that little corner as well, and 512 seems to have a lot of a stronger showing this match overall, whereas the real ones had an early lead in round 1 and 2. Now it's going to be 512 taking over the lead, already double the amount almost of real ones.
We actually haven't seen real ones so far behind inside of any hot zone games, and now they're all the way back in the spawn playing a 2v3. Larry and Laurie is going to allow counter to have so much more sustain in the mid here. Nathan trying to put that heal turret back up. I feel like whenever Nathan has that heal turret up, it's going well for the real ones, but right now it seems to be exactly representative of it because they have it down and they're gaining back control. But is it too late? 85%, extending the lead to even almost 90% versus just a mere 32%. I think 512 are going to take this set as Diego finally puts down the legs, laying down the law of this set number 3.
And with that, we will see another round. We will see 512 live another day here. Great showing here, especially from Diego. He gets the star player there. Great job at his end. And see anyone played in the scrims that I watched this week, but still he's gonna show up one more time. Also gonna be able to get rid of that turret placed behind a wall. Never mind. I think, yeah, okay, Mr. P is on the side of 512 actually, so Nathan is going to be on that Carl lost pick up for the real ones.
Mr. P, I feel like doesn't make that much sense to me, honestly. It's not good against Carl, it's not good against Max, so what are they looking to do here is the real question. However, it looks like red team's already proving me wrong. 8-Bit and the Mr. P on the right hand side are doing quite a lot of damage to Nathan, but we'll see if Nathan can actually go in with that gadget and then secure that kill for the side of the real ones. 8-Bit turret already down 5 gems to nothing. Oh, 5 gems just 3. What am I saying? It looks like it's going to be a continuous push for the side of the real ones. They go in on the right hand side, but actually the Mr. P takes out the Carl, redefining what I believe to be a counter inside of Brawl Stars, clearly.
Another P coming in there. Those little porters are really helping 512 to gain mid control. 8-Bit turret is going to help a great deal as well. Teleport out of harm's way there from CTR. Already picked up 8 gems so far. 512 are in the lead here, continuing what they just did on the last map, taking that momentum into this one. Could be making their way into set 5 here. Square now really trying to get in close and comfy with CTR. Does manage to dodge those incoming shots. Rosen and himself now able to pinch CTR. Square is going to get pushed back a tiny little bit. After all, he needs to stay alive. He is the gem carrier. He cannot go down, but if that last gem is going to be picked up, 8-Bit without any gadgets though, 512 has countdown.
Awkward thing here is that 8-Bit once is at an 8 or 9 gems, it's so hard to prevent him from getting those last 2. As he can just teleport safely away, there's no opportunity to reset here for real ones, so they're going to have to make a knockout on that 8-Bit. It's just not going to be possible though. With so much HP, 10,000 to his name, and a turret as well, there's just no way real ones are going to be able to turn this around. 512 are taking us closer to a set 5 as they show a very dominant performance in Rustic Arcade.
They kind of denied our whole RT strategy here, where whoever picks up RT wins this one. Nobody even picked him up. I guess this time around they're just showing us how strong 8-Bit really is on this map. We both mentioned it before, especially together with the Stu. Kind of his only disadvantage gets even out right from the get-go. Stu turret there, and CTR has almost normal walking speed, is able to pick up his first few gen, and is even almost able to deny Square his second one. Doing a great job at just holding him at length.
It's confirmed this is not related, but actually Juan Carlos' team just knocked out Tribe Gaming. But back to this match, it looks like they are going to be fighting at the mid, have pushed up all the way here, and oh, actually they retreat before even doing any damage to the side of 512, but they still need to get this gems back. As soon as 8-Bit is getting into the deeper ranges, like 6 or 7 gems, it's just going to be pretty easy to finish the game off for 512.
Mr. P has his porters with that 512 gains immediate mid control once again. Rosen on the left hand side survives it barely, has his shadow to survive that pinch coming in from Diego and CTR, but it also means that the left side is pushed back into spawn. Square can't really push up and get those few more gems he needs to even out with 512 right now. He still tries it. does get CTR quite low. He has to use another teleport back to safety, but 512 with the lead that they have right now, CTR only really has to pick up the gems that spawn on their own side, and it still would be enough that Real Ones couldn't even out the countdown if 512 gets it now.
I've never seen a Mr. P handle a Carl as gracefully and as successfully as Togi has on his right hand side. I think I just jinxed him. I just, yeah, the caster's curse, it's real. I'll say he's doing such a wonderful job. Nathan goes up with a flying hook, the protective pirouette, and finishes him off, but his teammate Counter says no, gets revenge for him, and takes gem number 10 for the side of 512. Real Ones have a lot of gaps to contain here, as they are letting it slip at almost the last second. Even when they were on a round point in knockout, they're gonna let this game go to a set number 5.
Time is just running out of their hands. Real Ones can't get the takedown onto that 8-bit. Fantastic job there, 5-5-12. Simply the better draft in this one, I have to say, but also amazing, phenomenal gameplay so far we've seen from them. They really take the momentum with them from the last set, and their mental seems to be as strong as ever. They now realize, hey, we can actually win those guys. Yes, we did lose the first 2 sets, but we're on our way into a reverse sweep, already making it into the very last map now. They only need to win 1 more, and they can play up against Juan Carlos' team. They just actually won against Stripe Gaming, one of the giants already out of the race. 512 has RT. Are they winning the set now per default?
We've had a lot of success with RT already. It seems like DiegoGamer really knows his RT, knows when he needs to be aggressive and when he needs to play passively. It's already going to be Counter moving all the way up this right lane, but he's going to be shredded by Raz already. Nathan actually gets taken down to mid, and it seems like 512 has such a strong grip on this map so far.
They really do have it, and they also have mid control now. It's always very important on center stage to just have control over the bushes, be king of the bushes. I guess 512 do have that mid control. They have a super on Diego. They have the breaking getcha with CTR. Gets rid of Rosa there on the right hand side. Could even open up the map now even more. Breaking the walls in front of the goal with Diego sweeping them off their feet. That was one of the best uses of the RT super you could actually have. Basically turning into Jackie, getting rid of both goal defenders. 512 is now 1-0 up after just 1 minute of playtime.
Counter is going to be trying to utilize this wall break here. Is he even going to need it though? Because if they can move up on the map on this left-hand side, utilize DiegoGamer's legs once again, they'll be able to win this first game inside of Brawl Ball. Counter makes the wall break into that mid zone. Nathan's so low on health. Can they get him down? Counter goes for another aggressive breakthrough, but it's not enough. Jesse bounces on the field, stun onto Jesse. Super from the Rico, and Real Ones are turning around. No, the Jesse turret gets the last word, and Raz now is at the respawn.
Nathan versus CTR, both still standing strongly mid, both trying to fight for mid control, and both of their teammates just getting out of spawn just now. Great ball control here from the Real Ones. Placement is there, they just need to reach it now. Get maybe a kill to close the gap between themselves and the goal. Square respawns right in front of CTR's face, who gets immediately rid of him. Nathan popping hypercharge, does get 1 takedown. Speed onto Roswin as well. It's 30 seconds. All that is left for the Real Ones to turn this one still around.
Real Ones, it felt like they had their match point opportunity years ago, and it's looking like 512 is about to have a match point opportunity of their own inside of set number 5. Hypercharge from the Jesse. Can it deny the Real Ones for another 15 seconds? I think he can. Square needs to get this ball somehow past these walls, but for no wall break, Counter's gonna have to play defense. Can they get it in? They can't. 3, 2, 1. The hypercharges pop from the Cordelias, but it's too little, too late. 512 finally showing off their skills in this final set. They are pulling it together and taking their own opportunity for the match points.
That was kind of interesting. I would have thought if they just would have bottom blocked for each other, Cordelius just keeping the ball, the Max running in there, that could have still been a goal for the Real Ones. It wasn't meant to be this time around. Let's see if the Real Ones can turn things around though. Match point for 512. After being down 2 sets, they've now made their way into a reverse sweep almost. Let's see.
I think this might be the first reverse sweep of this entire weekend, so super excited to see how this game ends up. A very aggressive face shifter in from Nathan. The pass. Can he get a counter? Tries to get the ball out of here, but no, the Real Ones are going to be able to slot that one in.
Real Ones gets it within only 30 seconds. The first goal is slotted in. They are now mad. They don't want to get their 2-0 lead, ending in a 3-2 loss in the end. Square getting mid-control once again. Togi and Diego, the last two, still standing from the side of 5-12. Rosen doing a fantastic job on that recon on the right-hand side.
Wow, does he pass it? No, he doesn't. Razwin falls, but Square's gonna be able to
No
put this
way.
ball in. Does he do it?
No
Yes,
way.
he does. What a quick second game. What a retaliation from the Real Ones when it was looking like 5-12 might just run away with this one. The Real Ones is putting their foot down on the ground.
We're not only in the almost reverse sweep already, we're going all the way to the very last set, and also within this set to the very last game. Double match point between the Real Ones and 5-12. Who makes it into the semi-finals? Who has to face up against Juan Carlos' team?
So far, I think I like the odds of the Real 5-12. They already got one ball inside the goal. It seems like they have the foot in the door of this match, but the Real Ones need to slam that door shut and take a goal for themselves.
CTR trying to play aggressive here, immediately gets muted by that Cordelia Square. Just knew what he was about to do there. 3v2 situation now in mid, still mid control, more on the side of 5-12 here. Square inviting Diego into the Shadow Realm here. Probably also gets rid of him in the end. Spawns right in front of Togi. Gets taken care of as well. Square with the double kill. Rosen gets rid of the last man standing. And with that, they return the favor. It's a 2-2 in sets. We are in the very last map here, and it's 1-1 in that last round of Brawl Ball.
It doesn't get much more exciting than this. Which team will take it all? I think if Real Ones can continue doing what they're doing, denying the Jessies from getting that hypercharge, they should have no problem securing this match for themselves. But if Toki is able to get that hypercharge down into the mid, things might be looking very bleak for the Real Ones.
It's just actually crazy. It couldn't get much closer. It can't actually. Togi with the Jessie turret now. CTR on the left hand side getting rid of Roswin. 3v2 situation 5-12 about to score here. Nathan is the last hurdle they have to pass to get rid of him. And with that 5-12, make it happen. We are in a reverse sweep. Ladies and gentlemen, 5-12 are your team to make it into the semi-finals. What a run they had. The Real Ones was 2-0 up, and they turned things around in the end.